Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hearthstone deck spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave, and today we'll be taking a look at CafeDelMar's Budget Elemental Mage. We really love playing budget decks. I think that it's always fun to kind of check things out and find some decks that compete quite well at those high ranks to help people get those mage wins, get those mage victories, maybe play mage cards. And today we've got something really good. This Budget Elemental Mage has a couple of cards that we haven't played with before. Most notably, Elemental Evocation. This is one of the new cards from Rastakhan's Rumble. It costs 0. It says the next elemental you play this turn costs 2 less. So kind of very old school, innovate type style. 2 mana on 1 turn, but we can only use it to play elementals. But I think this is quite interesting because a lot of elementals have pretty reasonably sized bodies. We can use this to get a water elemental out really quick. If we have the coin and a elemental evocation, we could even play that on turn 1. And we can use that to kind of gain control, a bit of a tempo advantage, we can try and close things out with those big-bodied elementals. A couple of other cards to like in here. I think Servant of Kalamos is an excellent budget card that can really help us discover a late game. It can help us high roll into cards that we otherwise don't have access to. We could get those bigger elementals, more Servant of Kalamos, just help us grind our opponent out. Also got an Arcanosaur in here. This is another new card from Rastakhan's Rumble. 6 mana, 3/3. If you play an elemental last turn, deal 3 damage to all other minions. Whilst we are a pretty minion-heavy deck, and usually I don't like these kinds of effects in there, it can really help us against other decks that are able to control the board a bit better than us and get on board. Especially good out to decks like Odd Paladin. Once they do kind of turn the corner with a Vine Cleaver or something like that, Arcanosaur can clear everything up and really pave the way for us to close the game out. The only other card that I like in here is this looks like one of the better Ruby Spellstone decks. Not only because we have a whole bunch of elementals, but I think this deck really looks like one that will need to discover some kind of value in order to pull through and in order to close the game out. So really happy with this list from CafeDelMar. Once again, if you are watching on YouTube, all the links down in the description. Jump over the Hearthstone deck article if you want to check this deck out. But without further ado, we'll jump into some games.
Fast for it.
Okay, we're here with CafeDelMar's Budget Elemental Mage. Looks like a great hand here. Glacial Shard maybe not the best one drop, especially if our opponent's on a more aggressive list. Matches up poorly against Voidwalker and things like that, but I think I'm happy with these. At least if it is an aggressive deck, we do have the Tar Creeper, which is going to be one of our better cards in that matchup.
We have turned our curse into
Okay,
our
even
strength.
Warlock. So this is going to be an interesting matchup where we're both trying to compete. We're both, I guess, trying to hit our power points at a pretty similar time. Though I will say that a turn 3, turn 4 Mountain Giant is slightly more powerful than what we have here. But we'll see. We'll see how we go. I guess this situation is kind of where Elemental Evocation kind of loses a bit of value, in that it doesn't really have a lot of application past the first couple of turns. So this Tar Creeper could be pretty useful, especially if our opponent's going to go for the Mountain Giant here. It kind of protects our other minions a little bit. Like the Mountain Giant has to bash through first. Survives a Hellfire as well. Oh, there he is. I want to see my mountain boy. I think we'll just get a body out. I think that's our hope, is that our opponent doesn't have good AoE removal, and that we can just kind of chip them out. Anyone else vote Nemzi for best hero? Ooh. It is definitely I think it's the best of the most recent heroes. We maybe should have considered not, like, leaving our opponent on 16 instead. Oh.
This power is ecstasy. Chill out.
Well, the Arcanosaur's turned on, so that might actually give us a bit of a nice trade situation here. But if our opponent has another Hooked Reaver, oh, I don't think we can beat the second Hooked Reaver. Yeah, I think Nemsy... I like Nemsy more than Soranoyo, and I like Nemsy more than Mechajiraxis. Or at least as much as Mechajiraxis. Warlock just has all the cool heroes. Why have I never thought of using Leyline on Firefly? Ugh, crunch! It's a good play. I'd recommend it.
What to do? What to do?
I'm burning up. I consume.
We're racing. I mean, admittedly, because I think with most people, when they think Leyline Manipulator, it's one of those things where you read the text and you're like, I understand this. But then when you start playing with it, you only play with it in certain ways. So like Leyline Manipulator, I played it a bunch with like, you know, Kabbalist Tome, stuff like that. Whenever I made a weird, like, wild deck to 1v1 people with, it was usually just strictly using Leyline Manipulator and cards that add spells to your hand. And then because of that, I think most people played with it like that. And they started to think that it only did spells. I'm gonna trade here. Oh no, that's pretty good. I think we might have to go for like Frostbolt Tar Creeper and then Arcanosaur next turn. Oh, it's getting dicey though. Moogie, can I get some more knives, please? I'll get you some Moogie knives in chat. We are definitely running out of gas here. Though admittedly, I'm actually pretty impressed with that this deck has kind of put our opponent actually in a pretty tough situation. A couple of awkward draws with both of these Arcanosaurs, but overall...
Break their ranks!
Oh, Shield Breaker! Yes! Finally, I'm glad someone's playing this card. Hey. Getting to the danger point of this, where our opponent can kind of drop Lich Kings or a few turns away from a Gul'dan. Ooh. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I wonder.
What a neat card. I haven't seen it yet. The Shield Breaker. Yeah, it was a card that I really liked from the new expansion. It was just like, oh, this is like a really interesting option. Like, I'm glad that they are kind of, you know, by the ley line. So we already have an Arcanosaur. I don't think we'll get to a point where 2 Arcanosaurs really matters. I think we need to kill our opponent in the next one. We need to kill our opponent last turn, kind of thing. So it was like kind of the body of Water Elemental versus Leyline, and at least the Leyline's going to reduce the cost of this deck of Wonders. So we could potentially sneak a deck of Wonders in. Like now we could go for a deck of Wonders.
This power is ecstasy.
Job done.
Now we've given ourselves a little bit of an out. A little bit of an out. You know, we might just rip a Pyroblast into our opponent's face. Who knows?
I wonder if...
Just a secret. Then you are mine.
Ooh, okay. Glacial Mysteries. Oh, we got a spell. Yeah, give me a weapon. I guess we have to go for the Arcanosaur.
To battle!
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh, the double Swampers. I don't think our upgrade longed for this world. Oh, Arcane Artificer Glacial Mysteries. Is that a combo? Is that a combination? Might actually be able to upgrade this Spellstone a second time. It's possible. Reasons finally got off of work. Congratulations. Welcome. Hopefully you had a good shift. Hopefully you didn't have to drop the smackdown on anyone. Or pyro your own face. Wonders always does me wrong. I've had some good Scroll of Wonders. We've had some really good Scroll of Wonders in the past. We tend to do a lot of Scroll of Wondering in user games. Oh no. Oh no. Well, ain't this a selection? I'm pretty sure our opponent like 100% has an Hellfire in hand as well. So we're pretty dead. Well, let's find out. Oh, we could have Elemental Invocationed it and then got to ping it. I had to train someone today, so it was really stressful. Well, you got through it. And that's the most important thing. Ooh, they did have the Hellfire, so... Still, really impressed with this deck. It's not every budget deck that can kind of take an even... You know, a proper tier 1 deck, tier 1, tier 2 deck that is even Warlock and actually kind of push that deck to a little bit of its limits. So, even though we lost, still a lot to be happy about. So, GG's, well played to our opponent.
You asked for it.
Alright, up against Paladin. Very happy with Firefly. don't necessarily want Glacial Shard. I think we want to try and find something else. This Frostbolt is the real question. I think against Odd Paladin, Frostbolt only really has a couple of really good targets. You know, an early War Leader, something aggressive like that. But outside of that, I don't think Frostbolt has a lot of utility. So I think I'm actually going to send it back and try and find our Tar Creepers and things like that. Maybe even an early Spellstone, just to help help give us a bit of power in that mid to late game. Yeah, this is fine.
We have turned our curse into
Hello.
our
Oh,
strength.
even Paladin. Okay. Tommy dropping the boots in. Beat Artifact like a dead horse it is. The game was so hyped and died so quickly too, yeah. It was actually interesting. I was reading an article that was like... a very typical, like, oh, look at how this game has... You know, what this game has become, etc, etc. Just gonna go for the ping here, I think. I think I'm gonna save these to make sure that we have our, elementals on deck. But I was reading an article that was like, oh, you know, Artifact has dropped so many players, like its peak concurrent players was 60,000, and now it's sitting at like 2,000. And I read the date of that article, and it was like midway through January. So I was like, oh, I wonder how many people are playing it right now, and it was like sub 1,000. Sub 1,000 people playing Artifact concurrently. I think it was like 780 something. Which is, yeah, not a good sign. Not a good sign. I was actually talking to a friend who plays quite a lot of card games, both digital and physical. And one of the things they said is that, like, maybe Artifact is the, just shows that we've hit like peak saturation of card games. We actually, yeah, I kind of wanted to trade ping and play a one drop there. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Too busy talking about Artifact. But yeah, maybe we've hit peak saturation of card games.
There's not one person in the world that's ever helped me.
Wah 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 wah. Wah 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 wah. Wow. Reasons.
We entered our second trimester.
Yes. Why does it say trimester? That's strange. Thank you, Reasons. Thank you for the sub with that Twitch Prime. It's good to have you on here for 4 months. Always good to see you. Thanks for sticking with me. See those stay wavies in chat for Reasons. Oh my gosh. Double pyro. What do we want to do here? Part of me wants to go like Firefly there, ping here, trade here. Then maybe go like Glacial Shard freeze? Yeah, let's do that. I'm not 100% on it.
I should meet you.
I think this is okay. Like, we're offering up this Glacial Shard to just die to our opponent's spell. Sure, dies to their coin.
Is he?
And it's cold. How buffed are we? No lifesteal. Does that mean they have Ziliax in hand? Probably does. Probably does. They can't play Ziliax? Of course. Ugh. Thank you for the reminder there. Gosh. What does it mean though? It means that their Chupacabra is in hand. I think even Paladin usually plays Chupacabra for the lifesteal. That's kind of rude.
Reporting for duty.
Frostbolt is pretty good here. Or alternatively, we could just like trade Fireplume Phoenix, ping the Corpse Taker. I think I prefer that. We do need to start playing some of these Servant of Calamos and set up for a big leyline manipulator. So we are kind of running out of time. Kangor? Could be Kangor. Kangor or the Scalehide. Well, presumably, yeah. I usually only see one of them, although I have seen decks with 2 Chupacabras. Might go Servant of Calamos Frostbolt next time. Ooh. Redemption could be a dangerous one.
Reporting for duty.
Would come back without any buffs though. Whoa, not you.
Brothers, heed my call.
Get down.
Job's done.
Water Defense Matrix. Okay. That's fine.
Reporting for duty. To Northrend.
Wow. Pretty aggressive. We could have done a trade there.
I wonder.
Job's done.
So aggressive. It really, when people make plays like that, it's like red alert. Just like, what are you planning? Why are you being so aggressive? Like, is our opponent's hand like the other Argent Commander? Like maybe 2 Avenging Wraths or something? Bone Bear. Bone Bear definitely fits into that category. Ooh, okay. How do we want to do this?
This power is ecstasy.
Can we simulacrum this, or do we have to set up the explosive runes to not die at some point? I think we have to set up the explosive runes. Yeah, this is a real bad situation. Like I was saying before, if our opponent has like Avenging Wrath or something like that, we are going to eat it. I pulled a golden Mookla today and accidentally disenchanted it. No! Golden Mookla. It gives them golden bananas. How could you? Reasons you've betrayed me. So currently we might go like attack, attack, ping. Or trade.
Magic shall not save you.
I don't think that changes anything. Attack, attack, ping, trade.
Reporting for duty.
We can even arcane explosion. So we could go like 2 here, arcane explosion, trade here. Water elemental, water elemental. I consume. I guess we could have simulacrumed first to get another water elemental, but we might have to simulacrum the Pyro 6/6, or possibly whatever we draw. This will be the Avenging Wrath. Yeah. We could die.
Brothers, heed my call.
None of these gain me life. Alright, see if our opponent has the other equality in the other Avenging Wrath. Nope. Just a consecration.
Well played.
Yeah, our opponent played really intelligently there. I think they definitely made the correct choice of choosing to get a lot more face damage in rather than trade with us. Put the onus on us to trade with them. And they really put us in a situation where, you know, through their Avenging Wraths, their Consecrates and things like that, they were going to probably take care of us. So, well done, well played to our opponent. But still, I think, you know, we're doing some powerful stuff with this budget deck. So, you know, if you're a budget player out there and you're thinking of making this deck, don't be put off by some of the performances here, because certainly at higher ranks, you're going to get a lot more success with a deck like this.
You asked for it.
Okay, up against the Hunter here. Keep the Glacial Shard and the Spellstone. Do we keep the Frostbolt? I think we do keep the Frostbolt. I'm just a bit cautious because keeping the Spellstone with the Frostbolt, we're keeping less minions, we're keeping less elementals, which makes the Spellstone a bit worse, but I think this Frostbolt against most hunters could be quite valuable. Ooh, that could be good if we rip a like a Steam Surger or a Water Elemental off the top.
Nice to meet you.
Going for this kind of tempo-ish play. Just because I don't think we can rely on drawing bigger elementals. We may as well try and get advantage out of this whilst we can. We get 2 upgrades on this, so even if we didn't draw anything playable, we could have just Ruby Spellstoned. And felt pretty good about it.
Nice to meet you. Chill out.
So we've got our Fire Plume Phoenix next turn, and then we've got a fully upgraded Spellstone, which hopefully is going to give us something a bit juicier than... what did we get? 2 Glacial Mysteries last time? Alright, so opponent with a great sequence here is going to buff up this Scavenging Hyena, but we've got the Frostbolt to slow it down. We could even Frostbolt Snap Freeze it. Or we could Frostbolt Ruby Spellstone.
I wonder.
I think we'll just Frostbolt Ping. I'm very concerned about... I think Deathstalker Rexark is definitely a card that could wreck us. Did you really just say Ice to meet you? Yeah. I mean, half of the voice lines in this game are puns. It's how I justified the distraught I felt. Ugh. Distraught.
Who to shoot?
So we've got some options next turn. Most of them just include going fight one of these 4-drops into coin Ruby Spellstone. Ooh, probably this 4-drop. That's pretty scary.
Job's done.
Pocket Galaxy. At least half, yeah. I know, but that one's so good. Yeah, there's a lot of really good ones, and a lot of stuff that I would never realize. That Crackling Raisin was real good. Hopefully, it's not. I mean, Divine Shield could be awkward. Oh my gosh, they got another Timberwolf as well off that Master's Call. Okay.
I wonder.
We could have gone for Molten Reflection as well. Like, we could have Molten Reflection the Water Elemental before attacking with it. That might have actually been the better play. Yeah. We really wanted that Tundra Rhino. Nah, that was a really excellent turn for our opponent. Don't think we'll be able to pull out of this Tailspin, especially with a Tundra Rhino on board.
Brothers, heed my call.
Yeah, it's not going to do much. 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. They only need like a 3 power minion. Yep, that'll do it.
Well played.
Well played. So,
Well played.
yeah, definitely a very fast-paced match. I think our opponent got pretty smart play with the Dire Frenzy early on. Master's Calling into one of those Timberwolves as well was a really big deal, and allowed our opponent to have a really efficient turn, which even with our Elemental Evocation we just couldn't really keep up. So well played to our opponent. We'll take a look at this the Budget Elemental deck. Honestly, I really like it. It's really fun. I don't think it's missing any cards in particular. Especially given that it's a budget deck. I think that if you wanted to add a little bit more dust to this deck, a Slam Dunk edition is definitely going to be Frostlich Jaina. You know, she's definitely going to give you a lot of wins that you otherwise wouldn't have had, because, you know, you kind of saw as we were getting to those late game points, we're really low on health. If we had been able to slam a Frostlich Jaina and maybe even get a hit in with one of our minions, that would have been swell. So, definitely a nice addition to the deck. I would also say that if you like the elemental style, that there's a lot of other decks that you can check out. There's a lot of hand mage style decks where you play some elemental synergies and mountain giants and things like that. You get to play astromancer and stuff, and those decks all felt quite strong as well, so they might be worth checking out another time. We've got plenty of videos up on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, if you are watching from there, all the links are down in the description, including a link over to the Hearthstone deck article for this deck. Please jump over there, give the deck a +1, and leave a lovely, thoughtful comment, like I know you will. My name is Tommy Wave. You can catch me at Twitter at Tommy_Wave or on Twitch, Tommy_Wave. Come hang out sometime. But until next time, stay safe, stay wavy, eat the rich, and I don't know, discover some elementals. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.